most successful innovators, inventors, entrepreneurs, artists, con artists, all of them emerged at a young age. They succeeded early in their lives. They succeeded before they were 35 years. Why is it important to succeed before 35 years? Why is it important to succeed when you're young? It's not because you want to be rich. It's not because you want to be famous. It's not even because you want to make your parents proud. Evolutionary psychology says it's important for you to succeed early enough in your life. It's important for you to succeed when you are young enough in your life. It's important for you to succeed before you are 35, because your chances of attracting the best mate is the highest during that time. Your chances of attracting the best girlfriends, your chances of attracting the best spouses, the best wives, are the highest when you're before 35. So how to really succeed before you're 30? That's a larger question. A lot of thinkers, a lot of leadership thinkers, a lot of social scientists, a lot of academicians, until now, they have narrowed down the philosophy of success. They do lip service to success. They think that if you do the right things in life, you end up succeeding. You have the right vision, you have the right passion, you have perseverance, you work hard, you have the right talent. Of course you should be successful. Probably not. Probably not. When we are doing the research on the DNA of early success to identify some of the commonly attributable traits of how you can succeed early in your life, by conducting interviews with almost 100 young global leaders of the World Economic Forum, we came up with some very surprising answers. Very counterintuitive, very different. So what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to give you 4 tips, 4 pointers that are going to help you all to succeed early in your life, to succeed young, and to go out and attract the best mate. Nothing succeeds like a reproductive success. Point number 1. Success is not about confidence. Succeeding early in your life has got nothing to do with your confidence. It's about how scared you are. It's about how afraid you are in your life. Let me demonstrate it with an example. Type 1 error and type 2 error. False positive, false negative. Imagine you are living in a savanna of Africa millions of years back, and you have come out and you hear a crackle in the bush. You hear a crackle in the bush, and what you do is that You imagine that there is a saber-toothed tiger waiting for you over there and you run away. Well, at last it turned out that your hypothesis was wrong. There was no tiger. What happened? Nothing happened. You just ran away. False positive. False negative. You come out again, very confident, crackle in the bush, extremely confident. You know that there's nothing, no problem. You just go and check out the bush. Well, there was a saber-toothed tiger who was waiting just exclusively for you over there. Well, your hypothesis was again wrong, but what happened? You've been mauled alive by that saber-toothed tiger. The same attributes which helped human beings as a species to survive against all odds in the savannas of Africa are still helping you as an individual to succeed in your life. If you are scared in your life, your chances of succeeding early in your life is much better. In fact, our research says that if you have had a rough childhood, if your parents are divorced, if you've gone through some natural calamities, if you've had some early illnesses in your life, your chances of success are higher than now. Point number 2. Success, your chances of early success is not about early success. It's about late success. If you want to succeed early in your life, you need to succeed late in your life. You need to be a late bloomer. Think about all those blue-eyed boys whom you studied with during your primary and secondary school. They were the blue-eyed kids. They were exceptional in each and everything which they did. They were exceptional in academics. They were excellent in academic extracurricular. What happened to all of them? What happened to all of them? How many of them really went ahead and became exceptionally successful in their lives? But they were, the rest of the gang, some others who were not as good, who were actually written off, who were losers. Our research says that these losers have got a higher chance of succeeding in their lives than those, because the people who have had early success, what happens with them is that their risk-bearing capacity goes down substantially after a particular age. So they have something to guard against. But in the case of losers, anyway they are losers. They are written off. They are written off. They have nothing to lose in life. They have nothing to prove to anyone. So what happens is that after you cross the threshold of age 20, you start taking more risks in your life. You start taking more risks in your life. And most importantly, because they have failed early enough in their lives, exactly like how you do in startups, when you fail early, your chances of success become so much more better. So if you are a late bloomer, your chances of early success is even more better. Third, succeeding early enough in your life has got nothing to do with focus. It's got nothing to do with focus. It's about a greed to succeed somehow. It doesn't matter whether you take the path of this or whether you take this path. It doesn't matter whether you become an artist and become successful or you become a con artist and become successful. You can become a great entrepreneur or you could become a great drummer. You just need to be successful. Success has got nothing to do with a focus in life. Success has got everything to do with being greedy about success. I want to succeed somehow. But again, the larger question which we would ask over here is that there are so many of us who have had a rough childhood, who've been completely written off by teachers, parents, and who want to succeed. But do all of us go ahead and succeed? Maybe not. So there is a secret sauce. There is a secret sauce when added to all these things, creates magic and helps you succeed. 4 points. Your secret sauce is defining moments. Your secret sauce is a defining moment. When you come across a situation, which is challenging for you, you stand up and embrace that opportunity. Unlike the rest of them, that creates magic in your life. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, at some point of time in his life, early in his life, he was completely written off. He was a very average student. He was shy. He was timid. He barely passed his matriculation examination. He read his first newspaper at the age of 17. He was scared of darkness. One day, he was traveling in a train and he happened to read this book which is called Unto the Last by an author called John Ruskin. That was his defining moment. He decided to stand up and embrace his destiny. That changed his life. Defining moment. When the defining moment comes, the people who would be successful in their lives, they would stand up and embrace the destiny. So what is the formula for succeeding early in your life? A negative externality plus negative feedbacks multiplied by a positive intent. Thank you so much.